Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. This evening on page 156, we're going to begin our discussion of chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita. And the respected Supreme Divinity said, again, listen to my supreme words, O one of mighty arms, Arjuna, which I speak to you because of my love and desire for your welfare. That's the only reason we're having these classes. It's the only reason we're conducting this discussion, is because of our love and our desire for the welfare and empowerment of those who are beloved. My beginning is not known by the multitude of gods, nor by the great sages. How can you know what is infinite? The gods are later in time. For I am before all gods and all great sages. Who knows me as without birth, without beginning, the great supreme of all worlds? He is without foolishness amongst mortals, and all his sins have been expunged. He is nishpapa, nishkriya. He has no sin, he has no confusion, he knows where he's going and he knows what he's going to do when he gets there. Intelligence, wisdom, freedom from ignorance, forgiveness, truth, self-control, peace, pleasure, pain, generation, dissolution, fear, and freedom from fear, causing harm to no one, equanimity, satisfaction, austerities, giving, welfare, and notoriety. From me alone, these different attitudes arise. Among the notoriety, let's see what they used. Notoriety really equates with fame and good fortune, and it's not like your Swami is famous because his picture is in every post office. It's like your picture's on the billboard, and therefore you have notoriety and fame and welfare. So from me alone do all these different attitudes arise. The 7 great sages of ancient times, those are the Saptarishi, and the 4 Manus, and there are actually 8 Manus, and then there are 14 Manus, because every Manvantar has a Manu. And a Manvantar is 1,000 revolutions of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So these 1,000 revolutions is a Manvantar, and a Manvantar is presided over by a Manu. There are 14 Manvantars, and then there are 14 Manus. And each Manvantar is presided over by one Manu. And the Chandipat comes from the Ashtamang Manu, or the 8th Manvantar. Who knows the principles of these manifestations of union with me becomes immovable from union without a doubt. If you know the principles of how to unite with me, you unite with me whenever you get a chance. And you stay in union all the time, whether you have karma in the world or not. You just do it from your center, without attachment, without confusion, without hesitation. I am before the being of all. From me all has issued forth. The wise who worship me with this understanding remain always in the same attitude. Great philosophers seldom disagree. Whoever worships me with pure attitude just stays in that attitude no matter what she's called upon to do. Whether it be in Kali Yuga or Satya Yuga or in Treta Adwarpa, wherever Shrima goes is Satya Yuga. And there's this aura of Sat, an aura of truth, of light, of knowing, a comfort. So with this understanding, they always stay in the same attitude. Whether they leave their body, whether they take another body, whether they wear another cloth or a new shirt or a new pair of pants, they stay the same. The wearer of the body is always the same, in the same attitude, in the same bhavana, in the same feeling. Their consciousness is absorbed in me. Their life force moves in me. They know the higher than the highest. Always they speak of me. They are satisfied and filled with delight. I give union with intelligence to those who are always united in worship with full love. Hey, that's pretty cool. If you're always united in worship and you got pure love and you're full of love, and whatever you do is a symbol of your love, whether you're massaging someone else's body or you're teaching them yoga or you're translating the Vedas, it doesn't make a difference. Whatever you do, you stay in union with intelligence and you're always united in worship because every act is an act of respect. You respect your actions, like Srimad tells us constantly, by means of which they find the attainment of me. It is only because of my compassion for them that I destroy the darkness born of ignorance situated within the attitudes of the soul by means of the luminous light of wisdom. So, I've got this compassionate feeling inside me. And for that reason, all those who come with an attitude of darkness and ignorance and inefficiency and selfishness, always thinking of their own selves, I destroy that ignorance, I destroy that darkness by illuminating the light of wisdom. And Clarity of Pure Devotion said, you are the supreme divinity, the supreme place, the supreme purity. You are the eternal perfect consciousness, divinity, first among gods, unborn and omnipresent. All the seers have spoken of you. All the seers among the gods, Nara, the Thit, Debla, Dedyas, and even you yourself say this to me. I mean, this teaching is coming directly from you. I regard all you are saying to me as the imperishable truth. You wouldn't tell me a lie, would you? You're the supreme divinity, made manifest. Why would you kid me? Why would you joke with me? Athaski korcho. Binod keno korbe. This is Satya, Satya, Ekdam Satya. Punha Satyam. You who are the embodiment of the functions of creation, preservation, and transformation, Krishna. Keshava, the one with beautiful hair. For neither the forces of divinity nor the forces of duality know you in your supreme manifestation. They're all after you. Remember, tapasya devo devato argo ayam, taposhi sarvam pratishtitam, tasmat tapah shreshta. Tapasya devo devato argo ayam. Initially, all the gods became shining, radiant, divine beings because of their tapasya. That means you were before their tapasya. You were the supreme divinity, the Shabda Brahman, from which came the Bindu, which came the Nad, which came the manifestation, the Bij, which came from whence cometh the Shabda, and Vedic Shabda and Bhautika Shabda. So all of these Devas and Devis are after you. They're subsequent to you. So not the forces of divinity nor the forces of duality can know you in your supreme manifestation. How can they know the unity? Only your soul knows your own soul. Excellent, perfect consciousness. The attitude of all being, the Lord of all beings, the God of all gods, the Lord of the perceivable universe. You should tell completely of the divine manifestations of your soul, by which manifestations these worlds exist, pervaded by you. That's a good thing for you to tell us, Mom. We cannot know the intrinsic nature, the inner essence, the eternal, omnipresent, neti. We can't know you as infinite. So tell us about your finite self. How do we know you as manifested existence? How do you manifest in existence? You pervade all the worlds, and all the worlds pervaded by you exist because you are the substratum of all. Tell me this knowledge, O man of union, so that I can always think of you. I got to think of something. I can't just stop my mind off. Didn't work. I've got to think of something, and as long as I'm going to think of something, I want to think of you. And I can't think of you as the infinite beyond conception because I can't conceive infinity. It's beyond conception, by definition. So give me some finite forms, which I can think about. So I can think about you in manifested existence. In various attitudes are you to be thought of by me, O supreme divinity. Again, tell the details of the manifestations of the soul in union. Who is worshipped by the people, Krishna? For I am not yet satiated from listening to the nectar of your words. Yum, yum. Almost as tasty as Ma's new cookbook. The respected supreme divinity said, okay, Krishna. Now I shall tell you of the predominant manifestations of my soul. O best of those who act, Arjuna. There is no end to the details of me. Everything you see, everything you feel, everything you touch, every object and relation in the ocean of all is pervaded by me. So I'm going to tell you some of the details. Just the sentient ones that will really empower you to think about divinity in manifested existence. I am the soul which resides within all beings. Who has conquered sleep, Arjuna? Or who doesn't sleep at all, or hardly ever gets to sleep. He's plagued by insomnia. I am before, in the middle, and also at the end of all beings. Adhyana. Among the children of non-duality, I am Vishnu, he who pervades the universe. Among the lights, I am the radiant sun. Among the shining ones, I am a particle of light. And among the stars, I am the moon. Among the Vedas, I am the wisdom of song. Among the gods, I am the one who controls Indra. Among the organs and senses, I am the mind. And among all beings, I am consciousness. Among the relievers of sufferings, I am the cause of peace. Among those who long for material things, I am the Lord of wealth. Among the shining gods, I am fire. And among summits, I am Mount Meru. Among gurus, no need to be the chief, Shrima. Brihaspati. Brihat means the vast, and Pati is of course the Lord of the vast, or Spati is the spirit of the vast. Among leaders of armies, I am Skanda, Kartikeya, the son of Shiva. Among bodies of water, I am the ocean. Among great sages, I am Rigu. Among speech, I am the one letter, Om. Among sacrifices, I am the sacrifice of continuous repetition, Japa Yajna. And among the immovable, I am the Himalayas. Among all trees, I am the holy fig tree. And among divine sages, I am Narad. Among celestial musicians, I am Chitrarat, the guru of all musicians. And among those who have attained perfection, I am Kapil, the wise. He was also the author of the Sankhya philosophy. Among horses, know me to be Utrashrat. He was the horse of wisdom. Oh, the horse of wisdom. Who was born from the nectar when we churned the ocean. Uchasravas came out of the ocean along with Lakshmi and Dhanvantari and the Amrit and Aravat and so many other divine, Kashturbi, and all the gems and jewels that were hidden in the ocean of existence, in the ocean of purity. They all came out, and amongst them was this horse of wisdom who always wanted to go home to his wisdom. Among elephants, I am the king of elephants, Aravat. And among men, I am the king. Among vital energies, I am the thunderbolt. Among the cows, the one who satiates desire. Among those who beget offspring, I am the god of love. And among snakes, I am Varshuki, the Lord. Among cobras, I am Anant. And among beings of the water, I am Varuna. Among ancestors, I am one purified by knowledge, Arjuna. And among all who control, I am Yam, the Lord of Death. Among the beings of duality, I am Prahlad, the pure devotee. Among those who count, I am time. And I am so happy to be able to count on you. Among deer, I am the Lord of deer. Among birds, I am Boinate, a name Guru. Among those who purify, I am the wind. Among those who hold weapons, I am Ram. Among fish, I am Makar, the shark. And among those that flow, I am Jhanvi, the Ganges. Among created beings, I am the beginning, the middle, and the end. Pure clarity of pure devotion. Among knowledge, I am knowledge of the soul. Among expressions, speech. Among letters, I am the letter O. The creation, the beginning of the alphabet. And in the competition for extreme brevity, I am even imperishable time. Kalakash. The moments. Kshana. Among those who support, I am the mouth of the universe. Among all who take away, I am death. Among those who generate, I am the future. Among women, I am fame, respect, vibrations, recollection, loving intellect, constancy, forgiveness. You want to have a relationship? Among all women, that's my form. Among songs, I am the great song of the Vedas. Among meters, I am Gayatri, 24 syllables to the verse. Among months, I am November. And among seasons, I am spring. I am the fraud of the deceitful. I am the light of those who are luminous. I am the victory of those who produce effort, and I am the truth of the truthful. Among the Rishnis, I am Vasudeva, and among the sons of he who is without prejudice, I am the conqueror of wealth, Arjuna. Among the wise, I am Ved Vyas. And among inspired poets, I am Ushana, the name of Shukracharya. Among those who main control, I am punishment. Among those who desire victory, I am diplomacy. Among the secret, I am silence. Among the wise, I am wisdom. Whatever be the seed of all beings, clarity of pure devotion, whether moving or unmoving, there is no being which may exist without me. There is no end to the manifestations of my divinity, Supreme Light Arjuna. Thus has been spoken this brief explanation of the details of my manifestations. Whatever manifestation of truth, whether respect or propriety or other, know that to have emanated from a small portion of my light. But why should all this be known, clarity of pure devotion? I exist, supporting all this perceivable universe by only one small part of myself. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Dashamo Adhyaya. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. All manifested existence, which is pervaded by the Supreme Divinity, comprises only a small, teeny-weeny part of the infinite beyond conception. All that is manifest and pervaded by that supreme consciousness.
So we are teeny-weeny.
We are even teenier and teenier and weenier and weenier. Because that Krishna, that Srima, that Satchit Ananda pervades the entire existence, achar, and all we can see is the manifestation. And the manifestation, let me ask you, how many stars are there in the sky? Innumerable. And how much space is between each star? Even more. The stars shine like little specks of light in the vast sea of darkness. And the vast sea of darkness is also pervaded by the Supreme Divinity, as well as each little light that we perceive as a star. You are everywhere, the pure and formless one, Almighty,
All merciful.
And all merciful. Yeah, you are all merciful too. Yeah, it's a perfect song. That's where you are. In the supreme unmanifest. That's where you are. And so that's all that we perceive. Every form is a manifestation. But what about the unmanifest? That is not devoid of existence. Just because I can't see it and you can't see it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. In fact, a pretty good chance that it's really there. Let's see if there are any questions tonight. Yes, please.
Is Krishna offering up all these forms as forms for meditation? Because Arjuna was asking for forms by which to remember God.
They are forms for meditation, and they are forms just to know that He is the best of all that has been manifested. If you want to think of Him in manifested existence, then amongst warriors He is Ram, and amongst gurus He's Srima, and amongst stars He's Chandra, and amongst He's the sun and the moon, and He's the biggest and the brightest and the greatest and the best of all.
Vishnu.
That's next chapter. Cheater. You're moving ahead, huh? I see you've read this book before. He is the brightest and the best and the most illuminated and the greatest and the most inspiring and the most empowering of all that has been manifest. And that's what he's telling us in this chapter. If you need to think of me as something good, well, think of the best stuff that ever came into creation. The best manifestations of existence. And that's my form.
Including a shark?
Including a shark. We have a Makar Sankranti, and we have the shark is in charge of the moon, the phases of when the sun crosses the Tropic of Capricorn. That's Makar Sankranti, and the Sankranti is when the sun moves across the northern hemispherical line, and then it starts its journey south. So the story is that the shark scared the sun, and even the sun returned and he didn't cross the line, so he went back towards the Tropic of Capricorn.
In verse 15 it says, only your soul knows your own soul, excellent and perfect consciousness, the attitude of all being. What is the attitude of all being?
What is it? Come on, give me a break, man. Yes, I'm going to tell you here tonight. The attitude of all being. Only your soul knows your own soul. That means the supreme consciousness can perceive the supreme consciousness. Only. So long as we are a limited form of consciousness, how can we perceive supreme consciousness? Get a little taste. We can see the manifestation of supreme consciousness. We can see the form of Shrima. We can see the form of Krishna. We can see the form of the supreme divinity. But you are the attitude of all being. How can I see all being? I can see the manifestations. I can see the stars. I can't even count them, but I can see them. But I can't see all the space between them. That's a lot of seeing. That takes a lot of foresight. Only you can see the infinity of you. The attitude of all being.
The question comes from a line that said, the attitudes of the soul. I never really considered the soul to have an attitude. I thought that was more a part of ahamkara.
Well, we say there is a little bit of poetic license here that says that the sanskaras attach itself to the soul, so that even when the soul has left the body behind, and it has left the man and the buddhi and the chitta and the ahamkar, the sanskaras and the vasanas sort of wander off with the soul. Some kind of magical affinity makes it stick. So when the soul comes back into manifestation, it has an attitude. You were born with an attitude with a capital A. So yes, technically you could logic chop with me and we could debate this until the cows come home. But if you have faith and you have the bhavana, and you have the poetry in your soul, and you have that kind of love, you get the understanding of how it's possible for the soul to magically assume the tendencies or proclivities or the desires to manifest in a certain way in its next incarnation.
That's true.
Is that true? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, please. Do you have any questions?
Yes, we have a question from Nanda.
Hi, Nandama, namaste.
The name of Gudakesa
Gujakesha, yes.
talks about the one who has conquered sleep.
Yes.
Can you please suggest how one can conquer sleep? Thank you.
Do you know, Nanda, when I'm in love, I just sit up all night thinking about my beloved. And I just can't sleep because I'm so much engrossed. I used to see devotees in Kolkata. We would sit up on the roof of Vashishta's house and Ma would sing. They would get off work. They were, a lot of them worked in the steel mills, and they were all Bhojpuri steel mill workers. And they came from Bihar to Kolkata, and they would sit up all night and Ma would sing, and they would stay the whole night. And then we'd get up in the morning. I would sing all night long. And just as the dawn would start breaking, they would get up and all together go down to the Ganges and take a bath and go back to the steel mill and work all day and come back at nighttime. And when you're in love and you're just feeling this bhavana, this grace, it just pulls you along, Nanda, and you don't get to go to sleep. Gujikesh is he who has conquered sleep, and he conquered it with love because he's so in love and so inspired, and he just loves what he's doing and appreciates the opportunity to be there with his beloved, whether she's present physically or just mentally or metaphysically. I don't know. When I went to college, I could stay up all night long, all week long. And then take a little nap. So, Nanda, I don't think it's anything that you have to do. Don't set your alarm clock, because you'll go into the office with blurry eyes and say, oh, I'm not ready to work. Give me a cup of mojo or jolt or whatever it takes you to get back on the assembly line. But rather than that, if you can inspire yourself, if you can make yourself into a Gujikesh, I am in love with this guru. I am in love with the privilege of serving her by doing what needs to be done in her ashram and to support her in the ways I can, just to show my love for her. Then you get so excited you forget about sleep. And after a while, an hour or two here and there is just more than sufficient. That's the only way I can suggest that you conquer sleep. I don't believe I conquered sleep. I believe that sleep doesn't come to me. Useless fellow. Go ahead and stay there and work all night. I don't care. Yes, please.
Question from Ambika.
Namaste, Ambika. Namaste, Sham.
Regarding verse 26,
Yes, please.
are celestial musicians the musicians who live in celestial spheres, or are they incarnate people who play heavenly music?
Both. Both those Gandharvas, the people like the chaplain of the hospital that I know, Chaplain Ambika, she plays celestial music in her earthly manifestation, and that is because she was a Gandharva and in her divine incarnation, and she came from Gandharva Lok with all that music in her soul, and when she's done playing her rhapsodies here on earth, she will go back and serenade the gods and join again in Gandharva Lok until you become one with the Supreme Soul. Every one of us has our own path of achieving that union, and some do it through music, you lucky stiff, and others do it through poetry, and others do it through astrology, and others do it through singing, and some are dancers, and some are prancers, and some are useless folks like your Swami. Every one of us has our own way of making that love made manifest. Making that love manifest, you do it through music, and you inspire your students with music, and you empower them with music. Every one of us, Gautam does it with art, and he'll sit there and paint pictures all night long. He gets so into his pictures, he forgets to go to sleep. He forgets he's even tired. That happens. Sorry, Nanda, that happens. That's just how it happens. Other people, they make a habit of keeping everybody else up at night. They send emails all night long and say, what are you doing sleeping? Get up and write a new program or correct this part of the website or whatever. So yes, it's both heavenly music and made manifest on the earth. You can see, Ambika, there are some people who have absolutely no music in their soul whatsoever. I can sing and clear out a room in no time at all. I'm best left in the shower. But there are other people who come, like Ambika, like Mitra Baba. He was just born with a mandolin in his fingers. He just makes music so easily. It just came to him. He didn't need to study. But there were other things that came easily to me. It was just a joy and a privilege to manifest my talents and to study the things that really turned my soul on so that I could share them and grow and make my contribution to the world. So music is an essential part of that contribution for you and for others of the Gandharva family. Namaste.
We have a question from Usha.
Yes, Ushama, namaste.
Pranam Swamiji. Why is the Samaveda the one chosen by Krishna in verse 22?
Because it's the Veda of song. It's got the most juice. All of Samaveda was contained within Rig Veda, with the exception that it has the Sama notation. And it has a bhavana and a feeling and a ras and a poetry. It's the same words, but it's got music. And that's why he chose that as the supreme amongst the Vedas.
Question from Srini.
Namaste, Mr. Srini Baba.
Does Vyakti Upasana prepare one for Samashti Upasana, or is it the other way around?
Vyakti Upasana comes first. Srini Baba, first we learn to worship an individual form. And then we expand that puja to include so many individual forms. And then we expand that puja to include all forms. And the Vyashti Upasana becomes Samashti Upasana of its own accord. It just grows. When we came to America, we used to make puja in a plate. Well, many of you may remember that. We used to take a plate and give everybody a bunch of flowers, and you put the flowers in the plate, and you put a little water in the plate, and you'd water the flowers, and you'd say the mantras, and you had puja in a plate. And our plate kept growing and growing and growing, and then said, take us to the Devi Mandir. We need a whole warehouse in order to hold your plate. So what's on your plate? Let it grow. And the Vyashti Upasana will give birth to the Samashti Upasana. And then you will be in Upasana with everything you do. Everything you do is part of that same feeling of worship, that attitude of respect, that sincerity which begets efficiency. So there's no wasted motion, there's no wasted resource. You're efficient, you do it right the first time. As my carpenter friends say, you measure twice and cut once. And then you deliver a product which is worthy of respect, which worthy of adoration, which communicates the type of attentiveness and respect that you wanted to share by doing the job that you did. Yes, please. Yes, please.
I have a question about verse 10. Speaks about, I give union with intelligence to those who are always united in worship with full love, by means of which they find the attainment of me. So, why does union with intelligence give the attainment?
Oh, because you got to know what you're doing. The more I love you, the more I'm going to study you. The more I want to learn about you. I want to take you out to dinner. What would you like to eat? What kind of restaurant would you like to go to? What kind of flowers could I bring? What kind of corsage would you wear? What kind of conveyance would you like to travel in? Would you like to go in a horse and a buggy through Central Park? Could I take you to a movie? What would you like to see? Oh, you'd like to see Shiva Purana? Is that what you... That sounds like quite a date. All right. I want to learn. How can I demonstrate my devotion? That's the joy of having our relationship, that I get to learn about my beloved so I can become the cause of pleasure to my beloved. That's my worship. So I give union with intelligence to those who are united in worship with full love. I'm not selfish. I love you fully. I'm going to take you out as wherever you want to go. If you want to go to the drive-in movie and watch Shiva Purana, I will be glad to take you there. That could be the most romantic evening we would spend. Otherwise, I'm going to worship you with full love. Means I have no selfishness. I have no agenda of my own. My only agenda is to demonstrate to you the sincerity of my love for you, my pure devotion. And give me the intelligence so that I can do that appropriately. I want to rub you the right way. I don't want to rub you the wrong way. My rubbing you is going to be the manifestation of my love for you. I want to take all of the impurities and all of the obscurities and all of the improprieties out of you. I don't want to rub them in. So my touch, my speech, my action, my thoughts, my words, my deeds, they're all going to be in harmony, in union with intelligence, so I can demonstrate to you the sincerity of my love, how I respect you through my action. I want to give you the best I can possibly give you. Yes, please.
In the Chandi, when we talk about asking for pure devotion, we don't really ever ask for wisdom or for the other three elements of yoga. Is that by design, or if we ask for those like efficiency in karma or concentration or wisdom, are we going to get to the same place, or is there a reason why we're asking for bhakti instead?
Well, there's a reason that I'm asking for bhakti. Now, others may ask for wisdom, others may ask for dharma, artha, kama, others may ask for moksha. I ask for bhakti. And I'll tell you why. The sun is the light of wisdom. And Vritra is the cloud. And even the cloud comes and rises. The water evaporates from the earth and it forms a cloud, and the cloud rises and it covers up the sun. Now the sun is not devoid of existence, but I can't see it. Now if I ask for bhakti, if I ask for devotion, I can always see the devotion. I can always feel the devotion. So remember, in Ram's court, they asked this question of Hanuman. Hanuman asked the question of, I don't remember who gave the answer. I think it was either Vasishtha or Gautam. It doesn't matter. The answer is what's important. And he answered, he said, wisdom is like a lamp. In order to make a lamp, you need a bowl with some oil and a wick with some fire. And when you put the fire on the wick, and with the wick in the oil, and the oil's in the bowl, you have to protect it all the time because the wind will blow. And if the wind blows strongly, you won't be able to stop it, and it will extinguish your fire. Now, bhakti is like a gem. And a gem shines of its own effulgence. And it always shines. And you never worry. You never have to protect the light of a jewel. It just shines. So that's why I pray for devotion. I don't pray for dharma because dharma is in the eyes of the person who's experiencing the dharma. One man may say that my dharma is to become a suicide bomber and to blow up all the people in the parade. I don't agree with that dharma, but there may be somebody who disagrees with my dharma. That is to empower everybody who wants empowerment to love God and work together for the betterment of all. For me, that's my definition. But his definition is something different. And I don't want to debate. So I'm not asking for dharma, because wherever there are opposites, someone will say, I don't like your dharma. I don't want to pray for art, for economic resources, because I know fully well they will come and they will go, and they will come again, and they will go again. I don't want to pray for come. I don't want to pray for the fulfillment of my desires, because I know when that desire is fulfilled, I'm going to desire something else. So through the process of elimination, with a long beard and many years of experience, I decided to pray for bhakti. Because
Bhakti will never fall down.
bhakti will never fall down. Hooray for Shrima. It's true. It is true. Nasangshaya. It is true. Bhakti will never fall down. If I pray for any other thing of this world, it may come. If it does, it will go. But if I pray for bhakti, and that becomes the sanskara, the tendency, the proclivity of my soul, is to always be in love and always be in bhakti and always have this feeling of devotion, then I can turn myself on in every circumstance, any day, any time of the day, any place I go. I just can empower myself to be in love. But if I pray for any other thing, then the winds will come and blow out my flame. The terrorist will come and take away my wealth. The desires will come and go, and I will always be dissatisfied. That's why I pray for bhakti. Now, you guys make your own decisions yourselves. I'm only here to try to empower you with the criteria by which you can make that decision. I don't want to try to make the decision for you. You pray for anything you want. But I pray for bhakti, and those are the reasons for it.
I do. Divine Mother, make us instrument of your peace.
Absolutely. Pure devotion. That is pure bhakti. Yes, please.
We have some questions from last night.
That's okay.
Question from Nanda.
Yes, Nanda Mom?
How can one fast track oneself to udas and then into sannyas?
Ooh, you want a fast track, huh? Good. Nanda, the fastest track that I know is to put yourself in a state of constant remembrance. Just to continually make japa of the one mantra. What a privilege it is to serve you in these circumstances. That is, a servant of circumstance is udas. What a privilege it is to serve you, washing your dishes or combing your hair or programming your computer or doing this work in the office. What a privilege it is. Now that I'm given this privilege, I want to do the best job that I can possibly do so that you can know without a doubt that I love you. I'm paying attention to your work. I am respecting my work. I'm respecting my offering by paying attention to it, by doing it fully, completely, and perfectly in such a way that I maintain the harmony and the decorum of my environment. And pretty soon you're going to say to me, Nanda, you've done such a good job at these little things of the world. I want you to take over more of the responsibility for the greater worlds. And then the udasi becomes sannyasi. That's the evolution. That's how it works. It's a natural evolution, a natural progression. If you make yourself into the servant of circumstance, I was dealt this hand, I've got to play it. Well, I better play it to the hilt. I'm going to do the best job I possibly can. And then you're udas. I'm not bound by the fruits of my karma. I'm not sad because I'm not acknowledged. I'm not proud because I have been acknowledged. I am giving you my love in a tangible way. Here, Grinami Parameshwari. That's my recommendation. Fast track. Yes, please?
Question from Ambika.
Yes, Ambika.
What are the different effects of pranayama when the inhalation and exhalation are of equal length and when we count a 4-1-2 pattern?
Well, actually it'd be 1-4-2. But there are different effects, and I think you'll do much better to experience those effects than trying to have an intellectual concept of what it's going to feel like. When you practice them, you'll understand what they feel like, and then you'll know what it is from experience. It's not like you can tell somebody. But personally, I can tell you, my own experience is when I have equal breath, I move into the center. And when I have elongated breaths, according to the rhythm of pranayama, is 1 inhalation, 4 retention, and 2 expulsion, I go beyond.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Question from Nanda.
Yes, Nandama?
Do we need a balance of all the activities within the Siddhanta chart? Or is it okay to focus on one, for example, serving others instead of doing worship? Thank you.
You will focus on one aspect for some time and automatically become engaged in all the other aspects. Choose any one of them. You will automatically, without your control, you will be enrolled into a program of harmonizing all of the various behaviors of Siddhanta. So if you want to serve others, maybe you'll come to the ashram, maybe you'll hang out with some crazy Swami who lives on top of a mountain, maybe you'll come to the Sunday Chandi and start chanting and start doing pranayama and sitting in one asana and studying Sanskrit, and then you'll do more than just serving others. Automatically, by association, you will be drawn into a harmony of all the different kinds of spiritual behaviors by which you will make your own path, your own mix. You'll mix them up and take a little of this and a little of that and a little of that, and you'll put them all together and stir. Payo dadigritam cheva, maducha shakarayutam, panchamritam. In the same way we mix them all up and make the panchamrita snanam. In the same way, you're going to mix up all the Dhyan, Gyan, Bhakti, and Karma. You're going to have a preponderance of each one at each time in your life. And then you'll focus your attention. I'm a meditator, and I'm going to do transcendental meditation now. And is there any meditation that doesn't seek to transcend? Anyway, you'll do transcendental meditation. Goodness knows what that means. And then after you do the meditation, well, you wake up and you're empowered and you're energized and you've got you've got to do something else. What are you going to do? Well, I could serve others, or I could serve God. Those are the choices. I could learn, I could pray, I could worship, I could put flowers on the altar, I could do Shiva Puja. Somehow, you're going to be compelled to create this harmony, this blend, this amalgamation of all the techniques you learn, and then the preponderance of those techniques is going to change, and there's going to be an ebb and a flow, and it's going to rise with the waves, and then it will come down, and sometimes you'll sit for 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day in one asana and only chant, and sometimes you'll sit for 1 or 2 hours and sit at a computer terminal the rest of the time. And it's just going to keep changing. It breathes, it inhales, and it exhales.
Learn song.
Yeah, learn song. And sometimes you'll sing, and sometimes you'll dance, and sometimes you'll sit on your butt. Yes, please.
It's interesting at the end of this chapter, Krishna says, but why should all this be known? I exist supporting the entire perceivable universe by only a small part of myself.
Absolutely.
So he expounded the whole chapter and then said, but why should you know that?
What use is this to you? What is the need for you to focus on particular aspects? Just know me to be the substratum of all. And then this knowledge is useless. It doesn't matter. If you're wandering in worldliness, okay, you may want to think, oh, let's go sit in the kitchen and talk about enlightenment. Or we'll go sit and gossip about gurus. Why do you need to know about all that stuff? That's just speculation. It's idle chatter. Talk about sadhana. Talk about what you can do. Why do you need to know all of these postulations and ethereal theories and theorems? And all you really need to know is that God exists as the substratum of the universe. And we're going to see in the next chapter, as Srima so proudly predicted, she's going to give Arjuna says, well, wait a minute, I want to see this. I mean, what do you mean you're the substratum of the entire creation? I want to see the entire creation. And Srima very beneficently said, Eva must do. Take a look, guys. Well, of course, Arjuna wet his pants. I mean, it was just too much. What do you mean you're all of this? And more. Aneka Bhaktanayanam, Aneka Baku Bhushanam. I see you with thousands of heads and thousands of bodies and thousands of arms. There is nowhere where you are not. It's really a fun chapter, the next one. This isn't too bad either. But while he was asking, hey, give me some examples of the best places to look for you in manifested existence. So Krishna said, I'm the sun, I'm the moon, I'm the seven rishis, I'm the leader of the gods, I am Shrima, I am the best of the... I am Monu, I am the best of all that there is. But why do you need to know all about that? Why don't you just realize that I am the essence of existence? And I pervade all, in everything, everywhere. And then in the next chapter, Arjuna says, all right, let me see. We're not going to ruin the suspense. We'll keep that chapter for tomorrow night. Any other questions?
Question from Ambika.
Namaste, Ambika.
How do we give to those who do not want to receive? To those who say, no thank you. Do we walk away? Is that also a form of giving?
Absolutely. Yeah, why bother? Hey, I am a tree, and you'll take from the tree what you wish to take from the tree. And why would you, if you don't want anything, why is the tree's not going to get up from his roots and run after everybody and say, no, 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 you got to take. You got to have it. You've got to enjoy my gifts. The tree says, that's fine with me. If you ever have need, come on back. You know where this tree is situated. The guru is like a tree, Ambika. And like a tree, she stands with her roots sunk deep, and it doesn't matter. It does not matter if people want to accept her gifts or not. She just continues to offer. And neither is she offended if no one that wants her gift, nor is she excited or elated if someone wants her gift. She just stands there offering. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste.